Hello friends, welcome to Bunk. This is Excretory System Part 5 and I am Dr. Khushboo. In last class we have discussed about the glomerulus. So in glomerulus, if you remember, in last class about the glomerulus, what we discussed that there was a Malpighian body, right? So there was a Bowman capsule like this, okay? And then afferent artery having a greater diameter, and then there was a tuft of capillaries, and the arteries which is coming out of it, it is efferent, which is emerging out of it, but it is having a lesser diameter. Okay, so this thing like afferent artery, glomerulus, and this Bowman capsule, all along they have we have discussed about it कि दोनों को एक साथ हम कहते हैं Malpighian बॉडी, और यू कैन से माल्फिजियन कॉर्पसेल्स. ओके, तो आज जो हमें पढ़ना है इट इज अबाउट पेरी ट्यूबुलर कैपिलरीज एंड वासा रेक्टा. ओके, सो ये होते क्या है, लाइक इफरेंट आर्टरी वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द नेफ्रॉन स्ट्रक्चर, राइट? तो उसमें कॉन्विलेटेड ट्यूब्यूल्स थे, लूप ऑफ हेनले थे, और फिर कॉन्विलेटेड ट्यूब्यूल्स ऊपर की तरफ. तो लेट अस ड्रॉ पीसीटी एंड दिस वन इज लूप ऑफ हेनले, और फिर ये ऊपर की तरफ आता हुआ ये हमारा डीसीटी है, और विच इज ओपनिंग इनटू कलेक्टिंग डक्ट. तो इस तरह से वो कलेक्टिंग डक्ट में ओपन हो रहा है. ओके, तो आफ्रेंट आर्टरी जो टफ्ट ऑफ कैपिलरीज बनाता है और फिर इमर्ज आउट होता है इफरेंट आर्टरी में. अगर ये इफरेंट आर्टरी, if this efferent artery is coiling around like this, okay, the artery, they're coiling around like this, so it is called peritubular capillaries. Okay, so peritubular capillaries afferent artery का वो ब्रांच है, like of course वो वेन और वेन्यूल में डिवाइड होगा, but that's different thing. वो जब efferent artery का वो ब्रांच जो पीसीटी और डीसीटी या हेनले के अराउंड एकदम आपस में इस तरह से वाइंड अप है. ओके, सो जब वाइंड अप है तो उसको हम कहेंगे पेरीट्यूबुलर कैपिलरीज. ओके, और दूसरा जब हमारे पास सेम थिंग है लाइक बोमन कैप्सूल, एंड देन अगेन देयर इज अ पीसीटी लूप ऑफ हेनले, एंड देन डीसीटी लाइक दिस, अगेन द सेम थिंग इज हैपनिंग. ओके, और इस तरह से कलेक्टिंग डक्ट है. But again, we will draw afferent artery and glomerulus or efferent artery, but it is going like this. Okay, it is going like this. It is coming down. Okay, and they are running anti-parallel to the loop of Henle and then going back to the circulation. अगर कुछ ऐसा होता है, okay, तो जब हमारा लूप ऑफ हेनले नीचे की तरफ आ रहा है तो ये जो आपका ये जो कैपिलरी है ये ऊपर की तरफ आ रहा है. जब हमारा लूप ऑफ हेनले ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा है, ये कैपिलरीज हमारा नीचे की तरफ आ रहा है. यू कैन सी दीज ट्यूब्यूल्स आर एंटी पैरेलल. ये जो ट्यूब्यूल्स हैं ये एंटी पैरेलल है एक दूसरे के. एंटी पैरेलल यानी जब एक ऊपर जा रहा है एक नीचे जा रहा है. तो वासा रेक्टा, इस तरह के ट्यूब्स को हम कहेंगे वासा रेक्टा. ओके, दिस वन इज वासा रेक्टा. वी कैन एडमायर इट हियर ऑल्सो. तो हमारे पास ये ट्यूब्यूल्स आप देख रहे हैं. सो इफरेंट आर्टरी की जो ब्रांच, आफ्रेंट आर्टरी तो जो मोटा डायमीटर है, फिर इफरेंट आर्टरी का जो ब्रांच जो इमर्ज आउट हो रहा है, वो जो कैपिलरीज में टूट रहा है, जो कैपिलरीज में ब्रेक हो रहा है, वेर इट इज रोटेटिंग ऑल अराउंड द रीनल ट्यूब्यूल्स, इसे हम पेरीट्यूबुलर कैपिलरीज कहेंगे. एंड व्हेन इट इज रनिंग डाउन एंड रनिंग पैरेलल like anti-parallel to the loop of Henle, it is called vasa recta. So let's see the things bit detail कि ये नेफ्रॉन्स होते कैसे हैं हमारे पास. तो हमारे पास किडनी है, राइट? ये किडनी हमने डिस्कस किया था, ये हमारा यूरेटर है, यहाँ से रीनल आर्टरी आता है, रीनल वेन जाता है, सो आता है एंड जाता है. ओके, तो ये इसके पास ये ट्रायंगुलर मेडलरी पिरामिड्स है. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि ये जो मेडलरी पिरामिड्स आपने ड्रॉ किए हैं, ये जो आउटर कॉर्टेक्स इनर मेडुला है, ये हमारे पास किडनी के अंदर है. तो जो नेफ्रॉन्स है ये रहता कैसे है? यू कैन एडमायर दिस इन डायग्राम, राइट? कि बाहर का आउट, ये तो रीनल कैप्सूल हो गया, आरसी लिखते हैं, ये अंदर का आउटर कॉर्टेक्स और इनर मेडुला. तो ये जो नेफ्रॉन्स है हमारे, कुछ नेफ्रॉन्स एकदम एट द जंक्शन ऑफ कॉर्टेक्स और मेडुला, एकदम कॉर्टेक्स और मेडुला के जंक्शन पे उसका बोमेन कैप्सूल इस तरीके से है, और फिर वो अंदर की तरफ इस तरीके से इसका लूप ऑफ हेनले मेडुला रीजन की तरफ आ रहा है. और डीसीटी कुछ एकदम जंक्शन पे होते हैं, एट द जंक्शन ऑफ कॉर्टेक्स एंड मेडुला, और कुछ जो है वो एग्जैक्ट कॉर्टेक्स के ऊपर होते हैं और बहुत ही छोटा लूप ऑफ हेनले होता है. ओके, तो इस तरीके से दो, इस अरेंजमेंट के बेसिस पे वी आर हैविंग two kinds of nephron, okay, on the basis of arrangement of nephrons, okay. So on the basis of arrangement of nephron inside the kidney, so there are two kinds of nephron on the basis of arrangement, okay. क्या है वो arrangement? We can see वो arrangement है either the nephrons are lying, the Bowman capsule and PCT DCT, they are either lying at the junction of cortex or medulla, or they are entirely at cortex level, and then medulla, that loop of Henle is going deep or invading deep inside the medullary region. तो अगर कुछ इस तरीके से है तो let us see this thing in detail. तो हमारे पास जो types of nephron है on the basis of arrangement inside the kidney, we are having two kinds of nephron. One is cortical nephron and other one is juxtamedullary nephron. कॉर्टिकल नेफ्रॉन और जुक्स्टामेडुलरी नेफ्रॉन, कॉर्टिकल नेफ्रॉन की संख्या बहुत ज्यादा होती है एज कंपेयर टू जुक्स्टामेडुलरी, दैट इज 85%. सो cortical nephrons are more in number as compared to juxtamedullary, and the more of its, like the part Bowman capsule and Bowman capsule, PCT, DCT, those things are lying at the junction of cortex, not at the junctions. They are entirely over the outer cortex. Okay. So, and juxtamedullary is it is at the junction of cortex and medulla. Okay, so juxtamedullary are found at the junction of cortex and medulla. और cortical nephron का major portion आप देखेंगे cortical region में है, whereas in case of juxtamedullary nephrons उसका जो वो juxtamedullary के केस में जो आपका major portion होता है nephron का, that is lying at the junction of cortex and medulla. Okay, and दूसरी चीज, they have loop of Henle. Okay, so they are having in cortical nephron, they are having short loop of Henle. When loop of Henle is short, तो वो बहुत ही कम cortex medulla region में जाएगा. Like if you are drawing nephron, it is going very little inside the nephron, very little inside this medulla region. Okay, तो मेडुला रीजन में बहुत लेस एक्सटेंड कर रहा है, लेकिन जो juxtamedullary जिसकी संख्या कम है, जो कि 15% है, they are the main thing, like the Malpighian corpuscles are lying at the junction of cortex and medulla, but the loop of Henle are very deep, invading inside the region of medulla. Okay, so cortical और juxtamedullary nephron में दो चीजों का अंतर है. एक तो बहुत सारी चीजों का अंतर, जो मेन व्हाट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड इज द लूप ऑफ Henle is very short, so it's not going so deep inside the medullary region in case of cortical one, because the major portion is lying at the region of cortex, that's why they are called cortical nephron. But in case of juxtamedullary, the major portion, that is the loop of Henle part, it is going deep inside the medullary region, right? That's why they are called juxtamedullary. And जो आपके tubules थे, you have drawn this afferent artery, glomerulus and then efferent, when they are वो circulate इस तरह से coiled है around the renal tubules, they are peritubular capillaries. So because they have very short loop of Henle, so there is no such kind of vasa recta which is going to run parallel or anti-parallel to it, right? But in case of juxtamedullary, क्योंकि loop of Henle is very big and they are going deep inside the medullary region, तो जो आपका efferent artery है वो उसके साथ parallel और anti-parallel इस तरीके से चलेगा. Okay, so this type of nephron is called juxtamedullary. Let us see the things in bit detail. Cortical nephron versus medullary nephron. Cortical nephron is a nephron with loop of Henle only at the outer renal medulla. बहुत छोटा सा nephron, बहुत छोटा सा loop of Henle होता है, and it is not going much deeper inside the medullary region. लेकिन जो juxtamedullary nephron है, इनके loop of Henle they are very large and they are going deep inside the medullary region. That's why they are called juxtamedullary nephron. और ये हम डायग्राम को देख सकते हैं. Suppose the outer one here, if it is a cortex, okay, the outer one is cortex and inner one is medulla. Okay, so if the outer one is cortex and inner one is medulla, so what will happen in that case? आप छोटा सा nephron, you can admire this loop of Henle. Okay, so this LOS, this loop of Henle is very short and it is not going much deeper inside it. Okay, and in case of this juxtamedullary, this one is juxtamedullary nephron. In case of this juxtamedullary, the vasa recta is very long. It is going deep, invading inside the renal medulla. Okay, so this is how we can admire cortical and juxtamedullary. But what about the vasa recta and peritubular thing we were discussing about? So vasa recta, it is also a part of efferent artery, and peritubular capillaries, they are also a part of peritubular capillaries. They are also the part of that efferent artery. But in case of peritubular capillaries, they are coiling like this. Okay, so they are coiling around the renal tubules. But in the vasa recta, it is also part of efferent artery. तो लेकिन वो साथ साथ उसके एंटी पैरेलल रन करता है लाइक दिस. ओके, सो लेट अस सी दिस इन बिट डिटेल. cortical nephron, you can admire the diagram here of cortical nephron. So आप देख सकते हैं this region is of cortex. ये आपका cortical region है और ये region आपका medulla है. तो इस केस में you can see major portion, the Malpighian body, the PCT, the major portion of DCT, they are lying at the cortical region. So major portion is in cortex. Okay, in cortical nephron, major portion is in cortex. Major portion is in cortex, right? So after that, you can see, you can admire this loop of Henle is very short. It is not going deep inside the medullary region, so it's very short. In that case, जो efferent artery का branch है, you can admire this one. Efferent artery का branch is just coiled around the renal tubule like this. Efferent artery's branch is getting coiled around like this. So this type of capillaries are they are called peritubular. This type of capillaries are called peritubular capillaries. Okay, so this one is peritubular capillary. This is how cortical nephron works. Okay, so you can admire this thing in cortical nephron. What will happen here in cortical nephron? The branch of efferent artery is getting coiled around the loop of Henle. But in case of medullary nephron, you can see this one is reversed. So it is this loop of Henle, the Bowman capsule, or you can say the Malpighian body, okay, and PCT and DCT, they are not in over the major portion of cortex. Rather, they are lying. They are lying at the junction of cortex and medulla. They are lying at the junction of cortex and medulla. Okay, so they are lying at the junction of cortex and medulla. What else? Second thing is the loop of Henle is very large. You can admire this loop of Henle is very large and going deep inside the medullary region. And this one is afferent artery. Okay, so I will write A for afferent, and this is emerging artery called efferent artery. So this efferent artery, the branch of this efferent artery, it is going down and then crossing it like this. Okay, the efferent artery is going down and then going into the circulation. Then it is given into the circulation. So this is how things happen. And in case of juxtamedullary nephron, efferent artery is running parallel to the loop of Henle. This type of branch of the efferent artery, which is running anti-parallel to the loop of Henle, it is called vasa recta. Okay, why we are calling it anti-parallel? Because you can admire this thing. When this limb of loop of Henle is going down, it is called descending limb of loop of Henle. Okay, this is called descending limb of loop of Henle. And when it's going up, it is called ascending limb of loop of Henle. But the efferent artery is going from here. This is called descending limb of vasa recta. So where there is ascending limb of loop of Henle, you can find the descending limb of vasa recta, and where there is descending limb of loop of Henle, you can find the ascending limb of vasa recta. So this is how, if it is a limb of loop of Henle, then vasa recta is also like this. But the thing is here, like the inner one is, you can admire this inner one. If it is a LOH, so here LOH is going down, here it's going up, but vasa recta is going down here, and here it is going up. So descending and ascending, both the limbs are anti-parallel to each other. That this is the reason the counter current mechanism occurs in this region. Okay. Um, sorry. So this is the region. This is the reason the counter current mechanism occurs in this particular region where the vasa recta is running anti-parallel to the limb of loop of Henle. And where we can find it? We can find in the type of nephrons which are juxtamedullary. Okay. So in case of juxtamedullary nephron, we can admire vasa recta, but in case of this cortical nephron, we can admire this peritubular capillaries. So they are shorter. The limb of loop of Henle is shorter. That's why peritubular capillaries are rounded around it. So this is how we have discussed the types of nephrons on the basis of the presence, like when they are the major portion is found in the region of cortex and the limb of loop of Henle is very short. They are called cortical nephron and they are rounded and the efferent artery branch is called peritubular capillaries and the quantity like संख्या में ये बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं as compared to juxtamedullary and in case of juxtamedullary you can admire they are lying at they are not lying in the region of cortex, rather they are lying at the junction of cortex and medulla. Okay, and the limb of loop of Henle is large enough to get invaded inside the medullary region, and the part of efferent artery, the branch of efferent artery surrounding it, is running anti-parallel to the limb of loop of Henle. This is the reason, यही reason है, यही वजह है counter current type mechanism का, and we can admire this only in juxtamedullary nephron, which is only 15 to 20% in their occurrence. I hope आप लोगों को समझ आ गया है the difference between the juxtamedullary and cortical nephron and the vasa recta and peritubular capillaries, but the question is still there. How nephron filters blood to take urea out in urine? तो प्रोबेबली हम नेक्स्ट क्लास में ये जरूर कोशिश करेंगे कि इसे कवर अप कर ले, but still first we have to make ourselves aware about the structure of nephron, then only we are going to discuss about the physiology, right? So uh, अब हम like what we have to understand is how the urea is getting excreted out in urine. So uh, and for today we'll meet in the next lecture regarding the same.